Hey everybody, welcome back to Jessica's Reading Room. My name is Kim and we are here for another video book review. This one is a book by my all-time favorite indie author, C.N.B. Clavin, and this is her first ever published book, Ensnared. I was so excited. I said, you know what? We are going to totally use quarantine as the excuse to just buy books and read them. So I did. And it was worth it. Oh my gosh, as you guys know, I ended up reading 3 of her books last year. 2 of them ended up on my top 10 list for the entire year. I read The Asylum 1 and 2, and then Buried. Buried, I believe, is her newest work. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but it was awesome. All 3 of those books were brilliant. Thankfully, I don't have to put a weirdo perverted disclaimer on this one, because while this one, it really was scary and a great horror book, there wasn't anything super crazy about it where I have to sit here and feel ashamed that I liked it. And see, and I'm okay to say that because I said it in the Asylum review, and apparently she thought that was absolutely hilarious. So, thankfully, I can recommend this book for just about anybody, because if you read this book, you can't come back to me and say, oh my gosh, you're so weird and you're so sick. How do you like things like that? So I'm feeling pretty good. All right, so this is a happy book review. Yay. Okay, so I gave Ensnared 4 stars out of 5. It's actually a relatively simple story. It's not overly complicated. It's not something that you have to sit and rack your brain about. It's quick. It's easy. I read it in a day. Basically, Amari and her family move into this farmhouse. It's her parents' dream to retire and move to a working farm. And because she has not decided what to do with her life yet, she is 20 years old. She moves back with them. And while she's there, she finds an old book that actually talks to her. Come to find out, there's this little girl that has been put in this book by her evil stepmother, and the entire story is Amari trying to figure out how to set this little girl free. Now, the story itself, loved it. Thought it was really good. There's this nice twist at the end that I kind of sort of suspected, but I wasn't quite sure, because by the time I got to the twist, I had myself convinced that I was crazy, because you guys know I suck at predicting endings. These last, how many books that I've read, I try to predict the ending and I'm so wrong, it's not even funny. So by the time I got to the twist, I was all set to say, you know what, I admit I don't know what's going on. I admit I'm no good at it. And then it twisted in kind of sort of the same way I was thinking, and I was like, yes, haven't lost it. Woohoo. But the twist wasn't enough to where it was kind of sort of predictable, but yet not really predictable either. If that makes any kind of sense. It was still completely satisfying. Even when I kind of sort of saw it coming, I was totally cool when it happened. I was happy. The ending was so intense that I just kind of sat there and I was like, you know, those kind of books where you do that when it ends? Okay. So, absolutely recommend this for horror fans. Like I said, it's simple, it's easy, but yet it was scary. There were some elements in this where I was like, whew, that's creepy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now, I do have one criticism. I also get that it's just me because I'm just like this. I really, really didn't like the main character, Amari. I know that sounds so horrible considering how much I loved the book. It's just, Amari is described as a 20-year-old who actually dares to give her parents attitude when they try to push her to making a decision about college, about a career, etc., etc. And that just annoyed me so much, because listen, I don't have anything against people living with their parents while they're trying to figure out what they want to do. Okay, I get it. All right, listen, I had to move back in with my parents when I was like 24. I had already lived off on my own. I had already had a job where I was completely independent. Then, because of this big move back from Hawaii to the mainland, I didn't have anywhere else to go. I still didn't have any kind of a job, so I ended up moving in with my parents. It happens, okay? I get it. But Amari was so annoying about it. She was so entitled. And it's like she was giving them attitude for telling her, you need to figure out what you want to do and you need to move out. You're 20 years old, chickie. You should have already been thinking about this. And then when they sign her up for this variety course, that it's one of those things where you sign up for it between high school and college and you take a bunch of little classes to see which one you actually have an interest in. And they literally signed her up for this class, gave her the choice of which subject she wanted to study, even paid for it, and she still gave them attitude about it. And I was like, girl, you need to calm your titties and you need to grow up, okay? But overall, that was honestly the only thing that bothered me. I mean, I know I'm kind of making a big deal about it, but it didn't ruin the story for me. There were a lot of other things happening where that just kind of faded into the background. And like I said, the ending of this book, worth it. I mean, by the time I finished it, I had forgotten all of my criticisms. And again, I was just sitting there speechless going, whoa. So 4 stars out of 5. Unfortunately, I can't label it as perfect like I did her other books because those were absolutely perfect. But considering the fact that this is her first published work, great job. Okay, excellent, excellent. You bet I'm still going to be reading a lot more of her books because she hasn't disappointed me yet. I was a little worried. I will admit, I was a little worried because I was like, I mean, this is book number 4 that I've read from her. I absolutely adored books 1 through 3. So odds are that there's going to be something wrong with this one and I'm not going to like it. And I'm going to end up, you know, saying, oh my gosh, I don't like her anymore as an author. Didn't happen. No point in worrying because it didn't happen because this book was really good too. So I can't wait to read more of her books. Great job. If you have not looked up C&B Clavin, do so. Most of her books are available on Amazon and in physical form too. So there you go. This is perfect for those who like horror. Excellent. Scratch the itch. It was easy. 4 stars out of 5. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will be back next time for another video book review. Bye.